Hello everyone. In the last video I'm going to talk about this chapter 1. I'm going to talk about the hole problems, and the hole problems are different things that happens during the drilling, including the lost circulation, which means that you may lose some fluids to the formations that are very permeable, and with the fluid I mean drilling fluid, which costs us a lot of money. So losing that drilling fluid into high permeable formations create a problem. Stuck pipe is another problem. It means that our pipe will stuck into some formations. For example, if you are drilling a directional well or a slanted well that you have to deviate from the vertical direction, then your pipe may stuck into the formations that are soft, or it may stuck to the areas that you have drilling fluid basically stuck with thick drilling fluid attached to the wellbore. So stuck pipe is another problem. Junk in the problem, for example, you lost some parts, your drill bit, you lose it at the bottom, you can't retrieve it back to the surface, or piece of pipe or equipment that is inside the wellbore, then you need to do a process which is called fishing. Kicks blowouts, another problem which we talked about. It is slightly crooked hole is another problem. So the lost circulation, we talked about it. You have flow out, which is less than flow in basically, and that means that, for example, if you have 400 gallons of drilling fluid in 500 gallons of drilling fluid injecting into the wellbore, there is 400 gallons coming back, which means that you're losing 100 gallons of drilling fluid into the formations that are underground. So another indication is that you have a drop in the mud rate, right? Mud return rate, of course. You have a drop in mud pit volume, and of course, if that happens, you need to be careful, because the blowout may happen because it drops the hydrostatic pressure of your drilling fluid inside the wellbore, because you lost some mud into the formations. So these are the indication of lost circulation, and causes of lost circulations, as we discussed, could be fractures, high permeability formations, or there are formations that are permeable and have low pore pressure, so there is a high high pressure gradient between the bottom of the wellbore and also the formation. So poor drilling fluid characteristics that doesn't have enough viscosity, or doesn't have enough solids that create a good mud cake that prevents drilling fluid from invading the wellbore. And also of course the fracturing that are created based on movement of the pipes and hitting the formations, which are basically brittle. So of course it results with costly mud makeup, which you need to make mud, right? And it may, if you have a blowout, it may fire, right? You may lose permit to drill, and a lot of big issues may happen. So you need to be careful about that, and in order to be careful about that, you need to do preventive measures, and these are educating the crews on the surface about the drilling fluid properties, what properties should you have, and also detect these lost circulation quickly, have a good mud program, and study the other wells in the area to be prepared for the formations that might have the characteristics like that. Another remedial measures, if you encounter such a problem, is that add some mud additives to increase or improve the properties of your drilling fluid, and avoid drilling through the troublesome formations. Decrease the mud weight to drop the hydrostatic pressure, and therefore losing the fluid into the formations in the cases that you have low pore pressure and you have high mud weight at the bottom. and also decrease the circulation rate, which means that you need to reduce the volume of that drilling fluid that is coming into the wellbore. So there are other issues such as stuck pipe, that the pipe is stuck down there, you can't take it out, and you're trying, for example, to do a trip, right? You want to take out everything out, and then your pipe is stuck down there, you can't remove it from the bottom of the wellbore, and a lot of issues might happen. You can go ahead and read about the stuck pipe yourself. The slides are there and discusses different situations that might happen. Another problem is of course the junk in the hole, and the junk in the hole, you may lose some parts in the wellbore, and then you need to take out, or a process which is called fishing, right? Again, preventive measures include the education of crews on the wellbore to be careful about these equipment, and sometimes you have to drill through that basically junk part that is inside the wellbore, or you have to take it out using magnets or basically other types of fishings. Blowout, we talked about them, the kicks, right? And indication is lost circulation will be out of the control, which is a big problem, right? You may detect kick at the surface by having a if you look at the mud pit or flow volume controller, flow line volume controller, you can see that you have an increase in the mud pit volume or increase in the fluid volume that is passing through the flow lines on the surface. Again, there are slides on preventive measures, remedial actions that you need to perform, and you can take a look at that. And in the next slide, I'm going to talk about this lost circulation example and some calculations regarding that in the next video.